What if the food you eat isn't the direct culprit, but rather the raw material for something more sinister? Imagine deep inside your gut, trillions of microscopic organisms running a chemical factory. Depending on what you feed them, this factory can produce protective compounds, potent carcinogens. This isn't science fiction, it's the new reality from cutting-edge microbiome research. The long-held belief that a high-fat diet directly causes health problems is being refined. The real story is far more intricate, involving a complex interplay between our diet, our liver, the community of bacteria living in our colon. The focus shifts from just what we eat to what our gut bacteria do with it. For decades, we drew a straight line from foods to disease, but the picture is much more nuanced. The food might be the first domino to fall. The real action happens unseen in the dark, warm environment of your intestines. There, the bacteria you host constantly metabolize compounds from your food and from your body's own processes. To understand how this happens, let's follow the journey step by step. It begins when you eat a meal, particularly one that is high in fats, like a burger and fries or rich creamy sauces. To digest these fats, your liver ramps up production of bile acids, which are essentially natural detergents. These are called primary bile acids. Your gallbladder stores and releases them into your small intestine, where they get to work breaking down fats, so your body can absorb them. This is a normal essential digestive process. However, not all of this bile is reabsorbed. A portion of it continues its journey down into the large intestines. This is where your gut bacteria enter the scene. The colon is home to a dense and diverse population of microbes, and for some of them, these leftover primary bile acids are a food source. Certain types of bacteria have the specific enzymatic machinery to chemically transform these primary bile acids into what are known as secondary bile acids. Liver-producing primary bile acids, which travel to the gut, where bacteria convert them into secondary bile acids. One of the most studied of these is deoxycholic acid, or DCA. Diets high in animal fats and low in fiber are known to encourage the growth of these particular bile-altering bacteria, thereby increasing the production of DCA and its chemical cousins. This process explains why diet-related risk is not a one-size-fits-all equation. You and a friend could eat the exact same meal, yet have vastly different biological responses. The outcome depends heavily on the unique composition of your gut microbiome, the specific strains of bacteria you host. If your gut is dominated by microbes that convert primary bile into harmful secondary bile acids, that high-fat meal will pose a greater threat. Conversely, if your gut is rich in beneficial bacteria that don't perform this conversion, the same meal will be much less damaging. Your personal microbial signature is the critical variable. This is why blanket dietary advice can sometimes fall short. It's not just about the food, it's about the complex interaction between the food and your individual gut ecosystem. The knowledge that your gut is a chemical factory might sound unsettling, but it actually empowers you. While you can't change your genes, you can influence your diet and the microbes it supports. The steps to encourage a healthier gut environment are straightforward and practical. By making conscious food choices, you can shift the balance inside your colon, promote protective bacteria, and starve those that make harmful secondary bile acids. This proactive approach lowers your exposure to carcinogenic compounds. The critical insight comes from studies that look not just at diets, but at chemical byproducts in people's bodies. A landmark 2025 meta-analysis in Scientific Reports confirmed what many suspected people with colorectal cancer have much higher levels of certain bile acids. And these aren't the bile acids your liver first makes, but secondary versions modified by gut microbes. This provides a concrete biological mechanism, connecting the dots between diet, the microbial world within us, the development of a devastating disease, forcing us to rethink food and risk. This opens a new perspective on prevention and health. It suggests we have more control than we thought, not by only avoiding bad foods, but by actively cultivating a good internal ecosystem. Research published in journals like Frontiers in Nature has shown that compounds like DCA are cytotoxic, meaning they are toxic to cells. They act as powerful irritants to the epithelial cells that form the delicate lining of your colon. This irritation leads to chronic inflammation, a well-known driver of cancer. Furthermore, these acids can disrupt the mitochondrial membranes of your cells, the cellular powerhouses, causing them to leak reactive oxygen species, also known as free radicals. These volatile molecules can directly damage your DNA, creating tiny errors in your genetic code. Over time, this constant cycle of inflammation and DNA damage can overwhelm your body's natural repair systems. When a cell's DNA is damaged, it can lead to mutations during cell division. If these mutations occur in genes that control cell growth, the cell can begin to divide uncontrollably, forming a polyp and eventually a cancerous tumor. At least 15 separate studies have now demonstrated this DNA damaging effect. It's a slow, stealthy process where your diet choices indirectly fuel a microbial process that ultimately attacks your own cells from within, increasing your risk for colorectal cancer. So it's not just the food. It's what your microbiome does with the food. Same meal, different bacteria, completely different outcome. And here's where it gets interesting. Some people are genetically better at detoxifying bile acids, controlling inflammation. Others are not, which means your risk is not just diet, it's your biology interacting with your microbiome. A 2025 preclinical study from Weill Cornell found some gut bacteria can convert bile acids into protective compounds that may even block certain cancers. This shows that the gut is a chemical battleground, producing both heroes and villains. The balance of power is what truly determines your risk. So what can you do? Support fiber intake to bind excess bile acids, feed the right bacteria, and reduce the inputs that drive this harmful conversion process. Fiber is abundant in plants like vegetables, fruits, whole grains, legumes, beneficial bacteria ferment, fiber-producing short-chain fatty acids like butyrate, which fuel colon cells and reduce inflammation. Soluble fiber acts like a sponge, binding bile acids and helping escort them out before they become harmful. Secondly, reduce foods that drive excess bile production, especially meals high in processed and saturated fats and low in fiber. Processed meats, deep-fried foods, heavy cream sauces. You don't need to eliminate fat, just shift toward whole food fats and avoid seed oils that contain omega-6 fatty acids, while adding in more omega-3 and omega-9 fatty acids. Until next time, Peter Marino, signing out.